morning, pilots. Today is Friday, October 11, 2024, day 8.
This episode will share the world of Bountiful Buttons.
Mr. Drew and Paul Lachman spin some records from the Spellman archives.
Kiara Lima has your sports.
And Yasmine Katwaroo has your weekend weather forecast. I'm Dana Shand.
And I'm LaShawn Allen. We're your pilots.
And this is your morning flight.
Hi, it's Miss Faulkner. Are you ready to take flight?
Deacon John explains to Robert why wine is used to represent the blood of Christ on a new episode of What's It All About?
Good morning, Cardinal Spellman, and welcome back to another part of What's It All About? I'm Robert Hernandez. I'm chilling once again with the man, Deacon John. Let's get right into today's question. So, Deacon, we know about the sacrament of the Eucharist with the bread and the wine becoming the body and blood of Christ through the power of transubstantiation. But the thing is, bread is nourishing. It's something we're supposed to eat. How come the church decides to use wine, something that we're not supposed to be drinking, instead of something like, say, grape juice?
Good question. Okay. Well, it's not that we're not supposed to be drinking it, because back in ancient Israel, okay, red wine was used for celebrations. Okay, Eucharist means Thanksgiving. Okay, part of our celebration. And you got to remember something. Jesus instituted the Eucharist at the Last Supper. The Last Supper was actually a party for Passover. It was the Passover party. Okay, so he used the wine because it was traditionally served at that meal. Plus, we chose red wine because the Passover meal was what? To signify their leaving Egypt, and they put the blood of the lamb on the doorpost so the angel of death would pass over them. So they used the red wine as an indication of that blood. Okay, so we're not drinking blood, but Jesus uses that as to change to his blood, because what do we call Jesus? The new lamb. He's the lamb that saves us, just like the blood of the lamb saved the Israelites.
And he shed his blood on the cross
To save
all of us.
There you go.
Very interesting. Very good to know. It's great to know that the Christianity decides to keep some of its Jewish roots within the entire culture and religion in itself.
That's why they're our Jewish brothers and sisters.
Excellent. So that's basically it for another What's All About. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode of Morning Flight. Until then, I'm Robert Hernandez with Deacon John. Fly high, pilots.
Thanks, Deacon John and Robert. Let's get into the news. This week, we had our annual pro-life assembly.
3 organizations were represented at this assembly, and they gave stories about mothers who they helped.
The 3 we met were Good Counsel, Gianna's House, Mommy's Storeroom. Representatives from each organization related how a pro-life pregnancy center works and what it takes to keep up such a place in a working order.
Juniors, the deadline for the Mary Adlib Scholarship has now been extended until next Friday, the 18th.
2 awards of $4,000 will be awarded to a junior boy and will be given to the best essay inspired by a teacher. Check out the website for more details.
Spellman's annual open house will take place on Sunday, October 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. An evening open house will also take place on Tuesday, October 22nd. Check the Spellman website for details on reserving your spot for a tour of our school. And now, Bountiful Buttons is our newest segment to Morning Flight, where we test to find the best sounding button.
Hello everyone, welcome to Bountiful Buttons. Hi. I'm Evie.
I'm Haru.
We're going to be testing out buttons today and ranking them out of 10. What do we got?
We're going to have each separate lists. So first up, I say let's go for the center here.
Okay, so this is, we found all of this stuff in the old studio where we were cleaning it out. This is a video control center. It's really old and it doesn't work anymore. So we have nice array of buttons here. There's 6 of them. I want to click on it. It's very
nice noise.
Nice noise, but I think it's kind of a bit of a hassle to actually like push down.
Pushing the buttons is pretty hard.
It also kind of hurts my fingers. Yeah. I'd say I'd give this one like an 8, maybe a 7. Actually a 7. Like
7.5.
7 because This is inconvenient, and the buttons themselves are not actually that nice. There's better, but we like her. Next, I want to do this one.
Grandpa Mouse?
Yeah, this is the Grandpa Mouse. This one's an Apple one. We also found this while we were cleaning out the studio. It's really old, and I don't know when they actually made it, but look, it's cool. It has a joystick on it. We won't be doing the joystick because, you know, it's quiet.
Yeah.
I want to take a button and just like...
All right, taking a button. These are much easier to press.
This one's amazing.
Noise is amazing. Very small for convenience.
I also like, you can't see it on camera, but there's like an indent where your finger is supposed to go, and it's like really nice. I don't like the wire.
Yeah, the wire is the only thing.
There's only 2 of them, which is kind of makes me sad. I wish it was 4, but that's whatever. I'm going to rank this one a 8.
That for me is a 9.5.
I don't agree with that, but yeah. Let's go with this one. This one is a video switcher. This one's the loudest one, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah.
You know.
I really do like the noise on this one.
Yeah, this one's crazy loud, though. This one for me is like 9.5.
That's a solid 8.
I love this one the most. Okay, now that we tested out all the buttons, let's rank them. Wanna go first?
All right, so my least favorite one has to be the big guy right here. Second, the small little video switcher. And then my top pick, good old Grandpa Mouse. Very, very cool.
Mine is basically the same, except like this one's last, but these 2 are switched. This one's my first place one because it sounds the nicest and I like the size. And then this one's second because I don't like the wire. And again, there's only 2 buttons. So yeah, that's it. We did this because we were bored. Thank you so much for
joining
watching
us on Bountiful Buttons.
Thank you. And next time we will have even more Bountiful Buttons for Bountiful Buttons. So bye-bye.
Bye.
Great finds, Evie.
Mr. Drew found a stash of record albums in our archives, and he shares some of them with the senior Paul Lachman in a new segment we call Spellman Sounds.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sounds of Spellman.
Hello.
This is Paul.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Mr. Drew. Now, normally you see me doing Atari games here, but we unearthed a collection of albums from Spellman's past and some old record players. And Paul and I, because Paul loves old stuff, that's why he hangs around me a lot. Yeah, but he doesn't deny it though, notice that. We decided to share some of it with you. And the first thing we're doing is in honor of National Spanish Heritage Month.
That's right.
And what do we got here, Paul?
Well, right here we have an album showing off some music from Peru. And I'm going to show you one of the songs being played on it. This one is called Pajarillo Cautivo. It's in the second track.
I think that was the last track.
Might have been.
Might have been. It's an exact science to get this right. What do you think?
I like the part where they spoke Spanish.
You like the part where they spoke Spanish?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, considering it's from Peru, they better, right?
I think so.
Now, we've got a whole selection of like albums from different cultures here, so we'll be showcasing them as we move along. But something else we wanted to share with you is The Truths of Dune, read by the author Frank Herbert. Now, you guys all know the Dune movies, but you haven't really lived Dune until you've listened to it being spoken by the author of the series of books. So here's just a little selection, and it goes something like this.
Term concepts of effectiveness and consequences, a condition of constant, unplanned responses to crises. Although he uses laws and legal orders to rule, Muad'Dib sees this in terms of energy. He says, the convoluted wording of legalisms grew up around the necessity to hide from ourselves the violence we intend toward each other. Between depriving a man of 1 hour from his life and depriving him of his life, there exists only a difference of degree. You have done violence to him, consumed his energy. Elaborate euphemisms may conceal your intent to kill, but behind any use of power over another, the ultimate assumption remains, I feed on your energy. And he says, production growth and income growth must not get out of step in my empire. That is the substance of my command. There are to be no balance of payment difficulties between the different spheres of influence. And the reason for this is simply because I command it.
Okay, so this wasn't exactly Dune. This was a book or piece that he wrote about the truths of Dune, the author. Frankly, I still don't understand and I don't see the appeal of it, but Mr. Borges likes it. So this was for you, Mr. Borges.
And I think I can appreciate the fact that it's being spoken of by the author, which kind of gives you, I feel, the rawest example of it. You kind of get every line delivered exactly how he intended.
Exactly, you know, unless you have the author, and I always tell the kids this, unless you have the author in the room telling you, no, the walls were meant to be blue, and that's it, well, you're on your own, kid.
That's right.
All right, finally, and this is a special one here, considering we are Cardinal Spellman High School, we have
our very own Cardinal Spellman actually on record. We're going to get to hear the sound of his voice.
This is from a 50th anniversary tribute to the Cardinal. Oh, it would help if I turned it on, wouldn't it? And this was narrated by Merv Griffin. I'll explain who he is for you kids in a moment.
Oh, it was his mother's idea that he leave Massachusetts to attend Fordham University in New York, broadening his horizons. In a recent informal conversation, Cardinal Spellman recalled the great decision of his youth 55 years ago.
On the day of graduation from Fordham, my father and mother came over, and I told them that I thought I'd like to study to be a priest, if I could. And my father said, well, whatever you want to do, be as good as you can at it. And your mother and I will support you in your work. And then morning I should go to Rome, and so Cardinal Powell accepted me, and I was away from home for 5 years.
Money wasn't.
Okay, so first off, Merv Griffin. Merv Griffin was a huge entertainer in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Oh, yeah. He's the guy who created the game shows Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Really?
Yes, yes. If you ever see at the end of those shows, they say this is a Merv Griffin enterprise.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So Merv Griffin also was a devout Catholic, and he hosted this album that was produced for the 50th anniversary of the Cardinal. Now, if you notice, though, this was clearly not, this was produced in the days before real audio cleanup is done, because you can even hear the clicking of whatever reel-to-reel they were using that they recorded it on. You can hear it in the background. An audio engineer would love to probably get their hands on this and clean it up. And I just might do that.
Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a good idea. So there you go, folks. 3 albums from our collection here at Cardinal Spellman High School. Paul and I will be back in 2 weeks because it's Halloween, and we found a treasury of horror albums, right?
Some spooky stuff.
Some spooky stuff. All right, so until next time, keep listening, folks.
Bye.
Thanks, Mr. Drew and Paul. Now it's time for sports with our sports analysis, Kiara Lima. Hi, Kiara.
Thank you, John. Since the last time we've spoken, the boys soccer team has suffered a loss against St. Joe's. However, they remain strong with a record of 6-1-3, ISMAL championship. As for the girls volleyball team, they've been a bit more diverse, winning their fair share of recent games. Girls swim kept their heads above the water as they swam to a 1-point loss against St. Edmund's Prep. We'll get them next time, girls. That's your sports for today. I'm your sports analyst, Kiara Lima. Back to you, Dana.
Thanks, Kiara. Here we have the CS1 of the past. These pictures are from 1969.
Back then, the senior class would raise money and purchase a gift for the school. The class of 1968 purchased the equipment you see here in these pictures.
This camera and recording equipment were used for capturing events here at Spellman. Father John Mohegan is working with his team to record a basketball game in our gym. Honestly, it's really interesting to see how different the technology was then versus now and what we use. Like, the cameras are a whole heck of a lot bigger.
And the uniform styles, I mean, maybe because it's black and white, or maybe they were just incredibly out of style.
Yeah, you don't know. And now Yasmine Katwaroo has a look at our weekend weather.
Good morning, pilots. You may have noticed that the mornings have been a little chilly the last few days. Well, the last of the summer days is with us, and that chilly morning is going to turn to chilly days. Today we have mostly sunny weather with a high of 68 degrees. Tomorrow looks to be the last gasp of warm weather with a high of 73 degrees. As our pilots take on Kennedy at noon, Sunday the clouds roll in and then we'll have a high of 67 degrees. Columbus Day and the rest of the week sees the temperatures only in the high 50s with partly cloudy skies just in time for winter uniform regulations to kick in. Based on the track of Hurricane Milton, it doesn't look like we'll see much effects from it here in the New York area. That's all for now, pilots. Back to you, Dana and LaShawn.
Oh my gosh, Dana.
Thanks, Yasmine.
And that's it for this week. And that's it for this week's Morning Flight. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page so that you are alerted when the new episodes premiere on Friday mornings at 8 a.m.
Plus, keep up with all sporting and special events here at Spellman. You don't want to miss it.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode of Morning Flight, Halloween edition. Until then, I'm LaShawn Allen.
And I'm Dana Shan. Fly high, pilots.